What if I told you there was an ETF that was low cost, broadly diversified, paid out dividends regularly, and had so much growth that it actually beat the S&P 500 over the past 10 years? I know it sounds too good to be true, but believe it or not, it exists. It's called SCHD, also known as the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. This ETF's goal is to track as closely as possible the Dow Jones US 100 Dividend Index. This ETF is going to focus on companies that pay out high dividends consistently. At the time of making this video, SCHD's top holdings include Merck, Amgen, IBM, Broadcom, Pepsi, BlackRock, Lockheed Martin, Verizon, Cisco, and Pfizer. Its top 5 sectors are financial services, industrials, technology, consumer defense, and healthcare. Remember, SCHD rebalances its holdings, so this will change over the years. So one benefit of this fund is that you don't actually have to actively manage the fund. Buy, hold, and collect your dividend. Pretty simple. Now, of course, because someone is managing this fund, that means there are some expenses to it. You would think that an ETF that's offering you so much will charge you an arm and a leg, but that's actually not the case with SCHD. The expense ratio of the fund is only 0.06%. Compare that to popular ETFs like VOO or VTI with expense ratios of 0.03%. I think an extra 0.03% in expenses can justify the additional cost for what this ETF is offering. One of those benefits is, of course, the dividend yield. SCHD is offering a dividend of 3.2% on top of its already impressive growth. Let's get into some numbers. 10 years ago, if you invested $10,000 in SCHD and reinvested your dividends, it would have grown to just under $37,000, which is about an annual return of 14%. Compare that to the S&P 500 with an annual return of 13%. So if you invested that $10,000 all those years ago, in a 10-year period, you would have tripled your money. So this ETF clearly has a lot to offer, but it's not a perfect investment. Before you go hop onto your brokerage of choice and pick some up, you should know about a few of the drawbacks of this ETF. First, the expense ratio needs to be brought up again. I personally believe the expense ratio is worth it for what you're getting with this ETF, but some investors want to get the most for their money, and this ETF is twice as expensive compared to VTI and VOO. Next, despite this ETF being broadly diversified, you should definitely take a look at the holdings. It's not as diversified as some people would expect. 41% of the ETF's concentration is in 10 stocks. So yes, it has exposure to a lot of different holdings, but a lot of them are concentrated in only just a small percentage. And finally, SCHD is a fund that does rebalance its holdings periodically. So when these rebalances occur, fund managers buy and sell positions. So these sales generate taxable events. So if your account that you have this in is taxable, you are affected by that. So this means you're subject to short-term and long-term capital gains, and you're on the hook for dividends, which may be considered ordinary or qualified depending on where those dividends came from. Don't worry, your broker will probably provide a breakdown of this for you, and you can avoid this problem altogether by owning SCHD in a Roth IRA. But remember, your gains are affected by these rebalances. Let me know in the comment section what you think about SCHD down below. Does this ETF have a place in your portfolio? Best of luck in your investing journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.